All right, guys, here's a follow-up on the attempted car theft at my property. Now, clearly, car is right behind me, so it didn't get stolen, but that's not really the concern. Now I start digging into this. I've made my video, and I've got so many people sending me, like in the area, sending me videos of their cars getting stolen from their driveway, and I'm like, wow, this is a little crazy here. This is much more widespread than I thought it was. It's a really big problem now in this area. And we're gonna get into that in a second. But I just go look at my Ring, they've got a community section on the Ring app. So, and there's Ring, there's Simply Safe, there's other like home security systems that probably have similar communities. But just on the Ring app, I was amazed how many people reported attempted car thefts within the blast radius of my house. And it doesn't matter the state, New York, New Jersey, there were tons of reports. And you could follow it. Like legitimately, I wasn't the only house that there was an attempt on that night. You go up my street, you say, I report mine at 5:21 a.m. Next thing you know, guy reports it at 5:28 a.m. at his house. Next guy, 5:32 at his house. So they're all over the neighborhood, indiscriminately going after whatever's available. And that's a problem. That's all over the place. And it's not even just right here. It's over in Franklin Lakes, which is on the other side of the county. It's in New York State. It's in Sparkill. It's in Piermont. It's in Nyack. And then I wake up the next morning and my cousin who watched the video was like, hey, look at this. Here's an article. They got the guys. And I was like, oh, cool. I look over in like Harrison, New York. There's a news article or a news video. Here it is.
Several men were seen getting in and out of a car and walking into people's driveways over here near Shelley Lane. We're told officers found the suspect's car over here on White Deer Lane and saw a man run into a car from a driveway. Well, when police tried to pull them over, we're told they started to speed away. Police say the suspects drove all the way down here and crashed right there into a police cruiser on Purchase Street near the Hutch. 4 suspects at that point jumped out of the car, ran into a nearby wooded area. 2 of them from New Jersey were able to be taken in and were released without bail. The other 2, though, did escape. Harrison police tell us the car that the suspects were driving in was stolen from New Jersey, and one of the suspects also stole a car that very same night from Harrison.
So 4 guys from New Jersey, Newark, as I guessed, stealing cars in Harrison, New York. And the cops come and they confront them, and the guys run, obviously. They smash into a cop car with the stolen car, which they were using another stolen BMW that they got in Jersey to steal the other car. They crash into the cop car, they get out, they run away. 2 of them get caught. This isn't a gone in 60 seconds hit list car theft ring where they're going with a shopping list and picking up cars. Also, you have to recognize why they're stealing the cars, because a lot of people are stealing the cars, some to ship overseas, some to commit other crimes with. And that's a popular thing, because you go commit a crime with a stolen car, and next thing you know, the cops aren't looking for you. They're looking for Mr. Jones over on Herringbone Lane, whose BMW was just used. There was a Porsche just used to knock off a jewelry store. They stole $1 million worth of gold in a smash and grab. Guys jump out, barge through the door, steal $1 million worth of stuff in a smash and grab, goes right back to a stolen car. They're wearing masks, gloves. It makes them harder to find. And that's why they use them for either breaking down, shipping overseas, or joyriding, or just for street cred, or to commit other crimes. I was trying to figure out what the hell they're gonna do with a 458 because it's not the easiest car to get rid of parts on. This would probably be a candidate to get stuffed in a container and shipped overseas if they're not gonna joyride it and crash it, or joyride it and leave it just for street cred to be like, yo, I got this Ferrari, I was stunting around in it and I left it in the trees. That's the thing. Now, these guys were caught in Harrison, and the worst part about it, released. No bail, same day, right? Like, there you go, let them go. So even though I was like, oh, cool, the guys were caught, I can sleep a little bit easier at night. Released, no bail, have a good time. Cool, that's awesome. So these guys are out, like roaming neighborhoods, stealing cars. This isn't like a crime of opportunity that they were at 7-Eleven, they saw a car running and the guy was inside getting a drink or something like that, so they decided to hop in and drive it away. Very different. This is an invasion of people's personal space. An invasion of, they're coming onto people's properties, and in cases even breaking into their houses to get keys. After everyone watched the video, I get a call from one of my cop friends, and a lot of even you guys in the comments were like, look, they took photos of your car. That's not good. And I'm like, what do you mean that's not good? They thought, like, hey, check this car out. We almost boosted this thing. No, photos of your license plate means they're coming back. And I've got the friend who's a detective a couple towns over who said, dude, this is out of control. And we've had 2 home invasions, 2 break-ins after they take photos of the license plate because they look up the reg, they try to figure out if they can get a key made or something like that. If not, they come, they break into the house to steal the key to go do that. Now, in my mind, I'm like, oh, holy crap. Like, I don't want to deal with a home break-in. Like, that's doesn't end well for anyone. Either it's the trauma to my family having to endure the fact that somebody broke into our house, and now there's either going to be a confrontation with me, a confrontation with the cops, or just the fact that somebody broke into our house while we were sleeping, which is a complete violation of your personal safety. Like, you don't feel safe anymore at that point in time. So, and then the downside is if they're violent or if they have weapons, I'm going to end up having to shoot them. And that's a terrible problem to have, especially in the state of New Jersey, because New Jersey's got ass-backwards laws when it comes to being able to defend yourself and your property. Not like the good old state of Texas where the joke is like, hey, if you shoot somebody, make sure you just drag them onto your grass, because like the law in Texas, if somebody's on your lawn, you can effectively shoot them. Now, somebody can come to my house, break in, and unless they have like a weapon or I'm clearly in danger of my life or my family's in danger of their life, I can't shoot them. And that's a big problem because now I shoot them for breaking into my house and like I have no idea what the intentions are. But once you get into my house, when the doors are locked and you're breaking in, my senses go up, and like anyone. And what if I was out having drinks and like, I'm like, oh my God, what was that? Oh, the guy had a fake gun, not a real gun. It looked like a real gun to me. I can't tell. I just woke up at 2 in the morning because these guys kicked in my door. So that was the only response I had. And it's just mind-boggling to think about that scenario. So in this, my only response was to get the car the hell out of there. And this is the day after when I was talking to my friend at night, and he's like, yo, they're going to come back. Like, I called the local department and let them know just to sort of be on the lookout. Like, they can't set up a sting operation, but like, they're coming back. So I was like, I called Siobhan, I'm like, yo, Siobhan, what are you doing? He was actually in Jersey at the time. I'm like, come grab my Ferrari, get it the hell out of here. I'm not going to leave my house now at 11 o'clock at night or 10:30 at night because I don't want to deal with leaving my then family who's sleeping home alone while I'm moving the car. So Shivam came, swapped his Tesla, took my Ferrari, and got it the hell out of there. Because to me, now, if that's what you're here for, it's gone, right? Like, I can't help if somebody wants to break in to try to take my Apple Watch or something like that. That's just a scenario that you can't lose sleep over because it could happen. But the car in the driveway that the guys already took photos of that they're going to try to get access to or get the key for, I got to get it out of here. And I'm not even going to have any of these cool cars at my house anymore until my garage is done, until I can secure my property, or until this widespread auto theft goes away, which I don't see happening anytime soon. And I'll tell you why. There's no deterrent, right? They're just releasing them into the wild. So it's like, hey, we arrested that guy. He rammed a cop car. He did this. Another instance, same thing in Englewood, New Jersey, which is right here. They stole a car. The cops were chasing them. They rammed the cops with another stolen car because they know that the thieves in this scenario know that it's a non-violent crime technically. They may be facing a slew of charges, but in order to stop overcrowding jails, like these non-violent, you don't shoot anyone, you don't do anything like that, they just get released so we don't overcrowd the prisons. And that's a huge problem. There's no deterrent now to not go do this sort of theft because it's like, well, whatever, I'm in and out. It's just community service I'm not going to show up to. Whatever it is, there's no deterrent. The punishment is not like you're in Riyadh where they're going to chop your arms off for stealing. Guess what? That's not a fun way to go through life. So you're not going to steal. Or the culture in Japan where it's shameful to yourself and your family to be a thief. They don't steal over there. That's a cultural thing. Our culture is never going to be like that over here. So, and our laws are never going to be that we're chopping off arms over here. But we do have laws that deter certain things, right? What is something that nobody wants? See, you have to make this, and you have to look at this differently. You can't look at this theft where somebody's breaking into a house or terrorizing entire neighborhoods. It has to be treated as terrorism. Because now you've got people up at night. They're sleeping. They're fearing for their safety. It's not going into the parking lot of the Kmart and stealing the car. Like, nobody's like, people are like, I'm annoyed. You go grocery shopping, you come out, your car's gone. It's like, bummer. But you're not losing sleep at night, right? You're not like, are these guys coming back? You're not terrorizing entire neighborhoods, which is terrorism. And the only way you could deter this, because nobody wants a terrorism charge, is to turn stuff like this, especially for repeat offenders, into domestic terrorism. Now, domestic terrorism, nobody wants to be on that list, because that's where we lock you up and throw away the key. And I'm not even saying the first guy to steal a car gets faced with this. But if we keep letting these guys go and they keep coming back in and back out and doing the same thing, they're not helping society. They've got to be treated like that. Now that we've identified that this problem is a long ways away from disappearing, because there's not going to be enough legislation or anything like that to prevent this from happening, here's what I'm now doing in response. I'm putting a gate, because I'm just going to make it more difficult or less enticing to come onto my property to come get a car, because it's difficult. I'm going to get a big wrought iron gate in the front of the house. There's going to be no access from my driveway to the street. Even if you drive over the grass, you're not going to turn it sideways and fit through the trees. I'm going to block off the end of the driveway. Now, the problem with that is, like, I didn't even finish my driveway yet. I got to put a garage in. So I'm doing all of this. And also, you have no idea how much a gate costs. Like, I was like, oh yeah, cool, I'll put up a gate. And I'm not talking about a gate you can just ram right through. I'm talking about like a big, like, you're talking 2,000 pounds per side gate. And the gate itself, and I started breaking it down, is at least 10 grand for the gate. Then the piers, the lights, the wiring, and everything like that. It's all going to be expensive. And that sucks. It's probably going to cost me $25,000 for something that I never planned on. And I never planned on putting a gate to get onto my property, because my gas line, I had them put it right next to the driveway, because I was never planning on going down and putting concrete piers to put a gate up. But now I got to dig up the gas line, have the utility move the gas line, if these guys don't break in and steal my gas line before that, just to put up the gate to prevent them and create that extra barrier of like, all right, let's just go to the next house. This is too difficult. And I'm not going to park any of my cars at my house until that time. And that sucks, right? Like, nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to have their life so impacted by this. But it's impacting everybody. I'm not the only one that's had an attempted theft. A lot of people have had their cars actually stolen. A lot of people have had their houses broken into. And this isn't right. There's got to be a solution. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if these guys that were actually arrested were the same guys that were at my house, because it's so widespread. The cops didn't even take fingerprints or anything like that. So it's just like, that's another attempted theft. We'll just chalk it up. We'll send out the newsletter to everybody that this house also had an attempt, this house had an attempt. But I have no idea if the guys that got arrested were actually the guys that were at my house. So I don't even know whether I could sleep easy or not. It sucks. And even if I could have slept easy, it's for like 6 hours until they get released and they're back stealing cars again. If you have a solution to this, let me know your thoughts. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. Until then, my Ferrari is here. The first day I was like, you know what? They're not, whatever. They came to get the car. It's done. I can go right back to sleep. Then when I found out they're going to be coming back to break into my house, I'm like, you know what? I can't sleep so well anymore. And that was very troublesome to me. So the whole situation sucks. There's your follow-up. It's all over the place. And hopefully just another reminder, unless something crazy happens, this is the last I'm talking about it, be sure to lock your cars. Minimize the opportunities, block your cars and put them in the garage. Whatever you have to do to protect your stuff and protect your family, go ahead and do it. And ultimately, people will get in a habit of doing that until there's less opportunity, and they have to escalate their game and start smashing windows with crowbars and going back to the old hot wiring days, or they'll just go do something else. I wish people were a little bit more constructive, especially given the fact that we're begging to hire people in today's job market. There's plenty of opportunity. You don't have to go out and be a thief. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. Be safe out there and stay vigilant. And if you catch any of these guys, feel free to send it over to me. And hopefully this will end sooner rather than later. But until then, I'm buying a gate.